In order to effectively manage a grazing rotation, we need grass measurements. Once we have measurements for each paddock in a rotation, we need to process the data alongside our demand data so that the results are presented in a meaningful format that we can use to make decisions. We can do this by either creating our own formulas and calculations, or alternatively, there are specially designed software available to do this. The most effective way of interpreting this information is through a grazing wedge. Here's an explanation.
A grazing wedge displays each paddock in a bar. There are 14 paddocks in this rotation, therefore there are 14 bars in the wedge. The width of each bar represents the size of the paddock, and the height of each bar represents the grass cover in the paddock. The number above each bar is the number of days since the paddock was last grazed. This field is 1.75 hectares in size, has a cover of 2,800 kilograms dry matter hectare, and was grazed 18 days ago. The blue line represents the livestock demand. The position of this line on the right is determined by our post-grazing residual target, which is 1500, and the position on the left is determined by the rotation length. The group of livestock in this example are on a 24-day rotation. It's been calculated that the group will need to be entering covers of 2600 in order to maintain the rotation length. To have the correct balance of supply and demand, the blue line needs to rest on top of the bars. This wedge therefore displays that there's a surplus of grass on the rotation, which is confirmed by the information in this supporting table. Growth over the last 8 days has been 78 kilograms dry matter hectare a day, compared to a demand of just under 46. If this trend continues and no action is taken, grass quality will drop and utilisation will fall. These are the actions that could be taken in this scenario. We could leave the situation as it is if we were foreseeing a significant drop in grass growth, or if we wanted to build average farm cover. But if we wanted to readdress the supply and demand balance, we either need to bring more livestock onto the rotation or reduce the area available by taking some paddocks out for silage. We have 2 options when taking paddocks out for silage: short-term silage or long-term silage. Short-term is if we decide to cut it today and the paddock is then back in the rotation with a residual of 1500. Long-term is if we shut the paddock now to be cut in a few weeks. In this situation, the paddock will be taken out of the rotation and will not be displayed in the wedge. In this example, I have taken 3 of the paddocks with the highest covers out for long-term silage. Supply and demand is now well balanced.
Regularly measuring and assessing the grazing wedge gives you confidence in your grass management decisions. This allows you to utilise the grass growing potential of your farm in order to cut costs and increase productivity. In the next video, I'll be explaining how to calculate livestock water demand on grazing systems.